My mom and I are on a trip in the Greek islands. It's May now, so it's a spring trip in the Greek islands. We've been in Sifnos for the past few days, and today we're going to Milos, and we're going to spend almost a week in Milos and then going home. I brought a lot of yarn with me, thinking that I wanted to make a full set. So I wanted to make this tank top that I've made a few weeks ago. I only have one and I've been wearing it so much, so I really want to have another one, and then make a matching pair of shorts. My idea was that because we were staying in two different islands, I thought that the first island would be to make my tank top, and then the second island I would make my pair of shorts. But we're going to Milos today, so we've been in Sifnos for a few days. We're going to Milos today. We're taking the boat today, and I only have not even half my tank top done. I've been so into reading my book that I kind of left my knitting on the side, which tells a lot about the book, I think, because I usually, like, if I'm on the beach and I have a choice between reading or knitting, I'm usually knitting, and that's probably why I haven't been reading a lot over the past few years. But I'm just really into that book. So I'm reading Lena Dunham's memoir that just came out. I usually don't really love to watch interviews and watch people talk about their work. I like to, like, people who make movies, I like to watch their movies. I don't really like to listen to them talk about why and how they made the movie. I feel like it loses a little bit of magic to me. So I usually avoid watching interviews and watching people talk about their work. But Girls is so special to me because it's my favorite TV show, and I've watched it so many times that it still makes me laugh a lot, and it's still very different every time I watch it. But this book makes me feel like I'm just rediscovering the show again, and it's so sweet because it feels like an extension of the series rather than an explanation of the series. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't want knitting to become kind of something that I have to do. I want to keep the enjoyment of it, even though now that it's my job, sometimes I push myself a little bit too much. So I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it nice and enjoyable. So if I want to read more than I want to knit on this trip, then that's what I'm going to do. And I know that at least I'm going to get my tank top, which is my favorite piece right now. And if I don't have time to make my shorts, I'll just do them when I go home and can focus on only that. I don't want to not enjoy my trip because I'm kind of stressed about like finishing this project and I have to knit and knit and knit and knit. I'm gonna chill. I'm just gonna chill. I cast on stitches for the body. I worked my way up in the round, and then I separated the stitches for the front and the back that I'm gonna be working the exact same way. I started working the front piece back and forth and shaping it with decreases, and at the top I made a folded edge that I seamed. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the stitches on the back. Now I'm thinking that I could also make an outer top. That maybe that's what I'm going to do next. Once I have my back piece done, I'm going to pick up stitches all around the underarm and cast on new stitches here, worked the straps on both sides, and I'm going to be done with my top. This is the pair of shorts that I want to recreate in yellow. I made them right before I left for my trip, and I haven't made a pattern yet, but I really want to make a pattern. But because it was my first pair of shorts, I just wanted to try one. And I made 2 little holes here because I really wanted to have an I-cord thing, string thing. But now I'm thinking that I actually like it more just like that. I feel like they fit really good, and I just really like them. So I think what I'm gonna do when I make the yellow pair of shorts is that this part I'm not gonna do ribbing. This has an elastic band. I'm not gonna do ribbing. I'm gonna do stockinette, like a folded stockinette hem. The rest is gonna stay the same, I think. Yeah, basically I'm gonna make the exact same shorts. For those, I'm not gonna do the strap, and I'm just gonna close the holes. So I'm gonna have a navy pair of shorts and then a yellow one once I actually make them. I grew up in the south of France, and during the summer I was always in the sun, and even not in summer, like it gets so sunny all the time and you're always in the sun and you're always tan. And then I went to study and work in places where you don't get to see the sun as often, and I started getting very light, like my skin started getting very light. So every time I'm starting to get a little bit more tan, I just start feeling like myself again. I finished one of the straps of my top, so I only have the other one to make. And I'm about That's how much I've read. So maybe like a third or something. I'm on chapter 6, and it's the part where so they made the pilot, it worked out. They made the season 1 and they went right into making season 2. So now they're getting kind of a lot of love for season 1. I know that Lena Dunham has had a lot of hate. I don't know why. I don't really know why. I think it has something to do with the fact that she was and she is considered to be a Nepo baby, which people really don't love Nepo babies. I love a good Nepo baby. I don't see what's wrong with them. Anyway, I think that's why she got hate. I'm not sure. I'm right before the hate starts. Kind of excited, still very into it. Forgot to bring my book today to go to the beach, so at least I have one of my straps done. Definitely not gonna have enough time to make shorts, which is okay. I said it was okay, so it's okay. I'm enjoying my trip. Everything is so beautiful here. It's very different from Sifnos. I think I like the vibe of Sifnos better, but the beaches here are insane, like extremely insane, very beautiful. So it seems like chapter 6 is actually about Lena falling in love with Jack Antonoff. I'm not sure that I really like that man. I feel like I've always had kind of a weird feeling from him for no reason at all. And maybe it's kind of just like in my head, but I get a little bit of a weird vibe from him. I just started the chapter and she seems to be extremely excited about the first few dates that they've been on. I'm definitely not gonna forget my book today. We're gonna go and explore more beaches today, and I feel like Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff is the perfect kind of piece of gossip for a beach day. So it's definitely gonna be more like a beaching and reading day rather than a kneading day today. I don't know what it is about rocks that's so fascinating, but I just love rocks and I love colors. So when I saw those rocks on the beach yesterday, I just had to pick them. I don't know if it's like a common thing, but I know that my brother also has this kind of obsession over rocks. When he was very young, he used to always come back from his trips with rocks to give out to people. One time he went to Brittany and he came back with this very big rock that he was so proud about. Like, that's the first thing that he showed me when he came back, and it's this big rock shaped like a penis, and we've been using it ever since as a napkin, like paper napkin holder. Like, we put it on top of paper napkins so that they don't fly. It's in the kitchen, it's always in the kitchen, and I don't know. I'm almost halfway through my book, and it's made me think a lot about one thing that I had a lot of time grasping in my 20s that have become way easier now that I'm in my 30s for some reason. But it's this idea of the more you try to please everyone around you, the less people are actually pleased with you. And the best thing you can do for yourself and others is to try to please yourself first. Like, you can tell when people are just trying to please you, and it's not a very good feeling to be around. People get the less hate, I believe, like even in the public eye, or people who just don't get treated like shit. Like, they don't allow people to treat them like shit. They just have a lot of boundaries around them, and they don't really care if you call them a bitch. Like, it's better to be called a bitch than to just forget about yourself and try to put everyone else around you before you, even people you don't really care about that much. But I remember that it was really difficult for me when I was in my 20s to think that way. And I can imagine that it must be really hard being in the public eye during that time, like during those years. So she's basically talking a lot about that feeling. And I feel like she's really losing herself in like the pages that I've read. She's basically losing herself, working too much and trying to please everyone around her. And it's not very satisfying to read because I don't really like people complaining, but I also get it. Yeah, I think it's kind of getting to the point where she's about to get really sick because she's been sick for years, and it's kind of hard to read. But the relationship between her and Jack seems to go really well so far, and it's kind of like the best idea of a relationship that people kind of dream about, like that thing of being each other's best friend and everything. That's what how she describes it so far. I'm almost done making my yellow top. I made the both straps. Now all I have to do is fold them and make the seam here, and then I'm gonna be done. I tried it on and it fits, and the color looks really, really good. I love that yellow also because whenever I look at the yarn, depending on the moment in the day, like if it's morning or during the day or at night, doesn't look exactly the same. Like, the color changes a lot, and that's something that I really love.